about to be underway. The Winter Major, coming to you live from Los Angeles, is underway.
And right out of the gates, you're going to see the speed difference between Team Queso coming off of the kickoff as Rise trying to get the fake out. And you see how comfortable DeToNator already looking. Burn going through the air. Here comes Olpix putting a shot on target. And Vatira narrowly avoiding that demo. And like Stax has been talking about, be wary of those demos in the defensive half for Team Queso because they are going to have their head on a swivel this entire match.
They can be one heck of an equalizer as this is dropped in by Rise, and Team Queso gets them started right.
Yeah, it only took 30 seconds and not too many offensive opportunities, but great pass there from Vatira and Rise finishing off that double tap with perfection.
So 1-0, 33 seconds in. DeToNator, plenty of experience playing from behind. They did that all throughout the APAC qualifier. As Burn will take his time. This is popped across, and Olpix had to get up there in a hurry with Joyo trying to make a play. Mikon will throw this downfield. Olpix going headhunting. No, he's going to take the ball and just drop that in front, but too far back was Burn. He can't get there in time. Rise over top of Mikon, and this is dropped in a dangerous spot. Team Queso is the one applying the pressure early against DeToNator.
Yeah, but very patient in the offensive half. They realize Team DeToNator is one of those teams that obviously going to go for demos, but they also go all in when they're on offense. They're going to send all three members forwards. So many opportunities as the pass comes out, blocked away by Mikon, and goal line is open, but the clear goes over to the left-hand side, and they get out of murky waters for now.
Skied away, and Burn had the read. He is the cog that gets this team rolling, though. Burn. And you could say the same for someone like Vatira, but it's Rise taking the spotlight. And you can see some smiles over there on the part of DeToNator. Oh, look, there's only so much you can do. Rise, incredible.
Absolute brilliant mechanics on display there. He went up, got the little wheel hit to fake out the defender. The ball went nowhere. And another goal coming out. No, just a little too high off the crossbar. And Team Queso not getting one there, but still up to very early here, and we're still waiting to see DeToNator strike.
Popped up for Rise again. Looking for another. Not this time. It's a little bit wide. Mikon played that off of Olpix, and Joyo couldn't tuck that one home. And a big break for DeToNator. Usually the team that's making other teams feel uncomfortable in their own defensive end. Instead, they were a complete mess defensively. Joyo gets there to disrupt Burn's effort, but Mikon can dribble down. His flex is a little high, and that's sent away by Vatira.
But I like to see that. So far, they've just been bombing the ball downfield with their clears. Instead, opens up his eyes, sees where the defenders are, and decides, okay, I've got plenty of space and time to dribble this ball upfield, and gets a nice flick towards net. And the defender was there waiting patiently as Joyo takes this ball, gets 1, 2, 3, and can't get the fourth hit as Mikon. Great defensive stop coming off of that backboard.
All the way back for Rise to play around Burn over Olpix. And very important that Olpix got a piece of him. You cannot let Rise get going. We've seen him before be part of historic offensive efforts as that one's deflected away. And Joyo looking for Rise in the center of the field. This is a waterfall right down, and Olpix will sweep it away.
Way to clean up the glass there from Olpix, and Mikon gonna miss that. Burn, oh, Joyo coming to pressure. And right now, Team Queso just starting to box in the DeToNators as Mikon stops the goal line, and Burn also turns the shot away as DeToNator doing a great job of defending the full Team Queso force coming downfield, not allowing any team plays to come out, but here comes one, and Rise putting in his third of the game. Gets a hat trick in his first ever series, first ever game in the Winter Major.
Yeah, it's Rise with the hat trick. We talk about his ability to score against teams that can't keep up with him, and DeToNator has not been able to keep up with him. We saw him do it back in RLCSX. Remember the 11-goal onslaught that his team Barrage put on Magnifico. He had 5 of those goals in that game. It was at the time an RLCS record. It remains the European record for most goals for a team in a single game. Queso may match that when all is said and done here. Vatira adds one of his own as Queso start to run away with game one.
Yeah, and everybody getting involved here is Vatira just baiting out the defenders. Once he sees him leave the field, he decides to put that ball right underneath, and Team Queso firing on all cylinders right now. And just like I was talking about, Stacks, they needed to come out in game one and make a statement, not just to the DeToNators, but to the entire Group A. And my goodness, they are looking strong.
The other two teams in Group A playing at the same time right now, FaZe Clan and Version 1. You could hear them popping off a little bit while we were setting up this match as Burn going to try to break up the shutout. He has absolutely no boost in the tank though, and no hope of getting by this staunch Team Queso defense. Olpic will throw another one downfield. Joyo intercepted. Chance for Burn, who's been the leading scorer for this team. Nothing there, and Olpic can only guide that out to the corner. Nowhere near well enough to break by Queso yet again. They're gonna add a fifth. Far down. Everybody shoots. Everybody scores for Queso.
Yeah, Joyo finally getting himself involved on offense, and it comes off of a beautiful redirect, narrowly just kissing the crossbar and in. And 17 seconds left here, Stacks, in game number one. And the story of game one has to be the shot differential. So far, DeToNator only 3 shots on target. When we look over at Team Queso, 13, just offense upon offense upon offense.
There are only 3 players at this LAN who average 70% goal participation or more. Burn is one of them for DeToNator, and Queso was not fazed by that one bit. Team Queso, cool, calm, and collected, not pressured at all in their first ever RLCS LAN series.
No, and you can see it on their faces right now. They just look so calm, so collected, and ready for this moment. I mean, this is one of those teams, when you watch them, even during the regionals, they look so comfortable. They look in place when they're doing interviews. They don't let the moment get too above them, get too big for them. And as we take a look at the stats, you can just see so much orange up there, other than the saves, which is going to be obvious when it's an offensive-heavy game for Team Queso.
Yeah, just so many shots overall for Team Queso. 14-3. The differential when all was said and done, when the dust had settled. Team Queso left absolutely no doubt in game one. It is a best of 5 all throughout the group stage. One game does not a series make, but it certainly can kind of set the table for what we can expect the rest of the series, unless, of course, DeToNator can turn things around.
Well, and it's going to be hard for DeToNator. We knew that their strategy coming in was going to inflict demos, but the speed difference isn't just on the ball when you go to other regions. It's just how they play. It's how they're going across the field. And you saw they were having a tough time even just making contact, let alone getting those demos. They only had 2, and Queso had 5. So for Team DeToNator, when they are relying so much on those demos, they've got to make sure that they make contact, because if they don't, they're putting themselves entirely out of position. The demo comes out, but looks like Joyo able to get the save.
The first of many they would like to have here in game 2. A clean slate now to reset the series, perhaps. Rise. Tight angle, got it in front. Vatira's there. What a setup by Rise. And Queso picks up where they left off.
Yeah, just playing with his food here as Rise goes off the back wall and gets a little double tap right towards the middle of the field. Perfect setup for his teammate, and Vatira gladly slams that one in. And just like game 1, Team Queso first on the board early.
Yeah, it did not take long at all. It didn't take long in game 1. It took even less time in game 2. Joyo got this in front. Vatira's up to challenge Burn. And that's the guy they have to stop, Team Queso. They have to make sure Burn does not go off. One of very few players actually averaging more than a goal a game. He's actually averaging the most goals per game, 1.16, but they can't get out of their own zone. Rise adds another. That's his 4th of the series, and he's had a hand in just about everything Queso's done so far.
Yeah, just a poor clear there off the backboard from Olpic, and he realizes that right away as Rise was basically playing spy in the DeToNator half, and clean that one up with ease as Joyo going below a defender again. That seems to be another common theme as Team Queso takes that ball up and just says, okay, you're going up high. Let me just show my mechanics and go low.
The thing about this Queso squad, you wouldn't have expected it after watching them in the fall, but something has clicked now in the winter. They're the only team in Europe that had a 30-goal scorer in all 3 European regionals. Rise had 30 exactly in the one that they lost, go figure, to Team BDS. The only reason that Queso did not sweep the 3 European regionals. It's just incredible, the turnaround of this team as they go confidently back to their own end. Vatira gonna line one up for Joyo, his shot just a little wide.
And back over to Team Queso, Stacks. I think one thing that really changed about them from fall is their, oh, no way. No way! Oh, turned away. Rise had almost the insane angle. But just the fact of how unselfish they are up and down the field and how creative they are, it's just something we haven't seen in Rocket League since Team BDS took the scene. This is a team that looks like they might be changing how this game is played, just in the fact that when there's a ball in the air, there's no wasted movement. They're going up for a fake. They're doing something to make their opponents constantly think, as Joyo looks like he got the flip reset, but that ball skies far, far away, and Team DeToNator still looking for a clear.
And you get the sense that Queso, if they really wanted to run up the score, it really feels like they could. As this is deflected away, Mikan, after a demo from Olpix, just can't get downfield, and there's the speed difference in these two teams. DeToNator not able to move at the pace they need to get by Team Queso. Joyo, as Team Queso recovers, this is thrown back out to the corner, and again in front, but nobody there coming across. Joyo late getting to the mark. Burn and Mikan will try and send this downfield. Could be dangerous, but Rise has the easy clear out to Joyo. And again, DeToNator just can't get up and stay up as Joyo got the redirect, and we keep on going.
Oh, look at Joyo coming through. He's looking for a demo and immediately realizes that ball is off target. Let me just redirect it right on point. Always involved in the play, regardless of where they are. You think they're out of it, they're still in, and Team Queso in this game for 3 goals.
Team Queso outscoring DeToNator now 8-0 in this series, almost a 9th. As Rise has that go up to the corner, but Sierra thought about it. Now Mikan, almost on target, had to be swept away by Rise. Now Olpix will just get that right back to Mikan, and you see there's no panic out of DeToNator. I mean, they understand exactly what the score is, time and score, situation, and all of that. They realize the only way they're going to come back in this series is if they can get just some kind of chemistry.
Oh, no
way!
way!
What a read by Rise, and it's real tough to get anything going when Rise is capable of doing this. He has the soul read here. Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh, the dunk in midair, top of the box. See you later, Rise. Rising to the occasion now as he gets his 5th goal in just 2 games.
And he's got a handful of assists to go with it. Again, Rise has his handprints all over this series, and Vatira lines up a double as well.
Oh, it takes about 3.5 minutes for Team Queso to really get comfortable in a game, and Vatira putting in the 5th for Team Queso. Seemed like they were going to start out slow after their 2 goals in 1 minute, and
right.
Team DeToNator doing a great job of slowing them down, but Team Queso, once they get woken up, look out.
5 in game 1, they've hit that quota now in game 2, and yet to concede a goal to the champions out of the Asia Pacific region. Well, Mikan can turn on this, and had he been able to turn just a couple microseconds sooner, might have had an open net. So Queso keeps the shutout intact. This is lob netward, and Burn could not get by Joyo.
Great push here from DeToNator, still looking for their 1st goal in the series as Rise taking Olpix out of the sky, and Vatira's got an angle, and
no way.
Can't quite find the double as Mikan comes in last second to cover up the goal line.
10 seconds remain here, and the only drama left is, will Queso add one, or will DeToNator break the shutout? One last push, and the ball just dies right there as Team Queso gets another 5-0 dub. 10-0 in the series with 1 to go at least.
Yeah, and if you're not watching Rise every time you're going up and down the field, there is something wrong with you, because in game 1 got the hat trick, game 2 gets the playmaker. All that's left for him is to get the Savior medal, to get that illustrious 3x3x3. As we take a look at the stats from game 2, looks almost identical to game number 1, but DeToNator starting to look a little better and a little better as the games progress.
To steal a baseball term, of course, it's me. Team Queso putting up a lot of crooked numbers. Not many ones, not many zeros over on the Queso side of the field. And the demolitions, 50-50 between Queso and DeToNator. We've talked about demos, and you hate to just hammer a point over and over and over again. But if DeToNator is going to be successful in the series, if they're going to pull off what is just a monumental task now in a reverse sweep, they need to have a significant advantage there. Again, we're talking about a team that averages 4 or 5 a game, and they don't take that many. The problem is Queso is matching them blow for blow, and DeToNator's not able to answer back on the offensive end.
Yeah, like you were saying. I mean, if your name is legitimately DeToNator, you gotta go for the demos.
What a perfect org to sign this team too. It's amazing.
You've got to be able to outdo your opponents when it comes to that. And DeToNator, really used to. Oh no, not the best way to start game number 3. Is Rise gonna get yet another goal? But for DeToNator, I mean, coming into this, they were used to just running through the Winter Major qualifier. They were first in goals per game, first in shots per game, so this is just a whole different scenario.
So it only took 5 seconds. They've just gotten faster and faster at scoring to start the series. And the struggle continues for DeToNator here, and let's face it, we knew they were up against it. Joyo's gonna add another. Queso's out to a 2-goal lead in 20 seconds.
Yeah, and what are you going to do there? Nobody home on defense. Olpix does his best to get up, but right now, Team Queso playing so fast, and more importantly, the shots and passes come out when DeToNator least expects it, as that ball going to go right to Rise, and let's see if Mikan can do much with that. I love that pass back, though, into their own corner. But they need to have someone there to be able to bomb that ball downfield and get their own offense started.
Oh, they were really slow getting to this ball. The challenge leaves that for Joyo, and the hits keep on coming.
Team Queso up by 3, 36 seconds into game number 3. And DeToNator have their work come out for them. I'd like to see him get a goal here. I'd like to see him pop off, get comfortable on that stage. I mean, they are still smiling, still enjoying this experience, but for them to come out of Group A and make it to this weekend would be a Cinderella story if I have ever heard of one.
Oh, absolutely. Joyo trying a little cheeky flip reset play there, and now Rise just turns on this, turn and fire, add another, and this may be the kind of game where Team Queso starts looking at the history books.
I mean, why not? And if you're Mikan there, you're not expecting that shot to come out so quickly, but Rise just pulls the handbrake, able to get back to that ball so quickly and put that shot perfectly on target. And that's one difference between these regions, is just the accuracy of being able to hit those shots time and time again as the pass goes upfield, and Rise gonna try and slow things down, leaves it for Vatira. Tricky play coming out from Team Queso.
Rise not wasting any time. He went right up to the heavens again. Joyo's there now, and Vatira gets the stuff. This is thrown in front, and missed by Mikan, but nobody diving in for Team Queso in time. Here goes Olpix, trying to get over one. He did, but there's the stop at the crossbar by Joyo, and then he goes right by Mikan. Gonna have help in the middle in the form of Vatira, and Rise waiting back there is gonna be called into action as he'll try and reset the offense.
Yeah, and for DeToNator to get a goal here, I think they need to get that ball out of the corners and just honestly, if they get one infield pass, I think it's going to throw Team Queso for a loop. I don't think they're going to expect it. They haven't seen one the entire game. So all it takes is one, and it's just going to open up the window just large enough for that ball to fit through.
Blocked out to the corner here as more shots keep coming in. This is finally thrown downfield, but there is Vatira. Nobody could get forward off the loop challenge. Now Mikan out to the corner, trying to play the slow game and navigate around this tough Queso defense. And still, there's Joyo at the back, swatted out of the air, but not before he got the ball to midfield. And DeToNator has to reset. They do so, though. This is the guy they want on the ball. It's Burn going for a demo this time, and that's going to skip across, where it will find Burn again. He got another boost steal. This is what you like to see out of DeToNator. Mikan denied at point blank range.
What a save there, and I love how the defender came out of net going towards the top of the box to just make that shooting angle smaller and smaller and smaller until it was absolutely impossible for that ball to fit through.
Yes,
as
sir.
the shot denied again, but there it is. Burn gets one for DeToNator, 2 minutes to go, and smiles on the faces of DeToNator.
And of course it would be Burn, who continues to add to his impressive resume here in the winter split, the leading scorer, I believe actually in the world coming into this split. And he adds one there, finally DeToNator on the board. And it looks like Queso wants to get it right back, and they just might. Vatira denied by Mikan, coming in from way behind the play. And now the clock ticking down to 1:45. DeToNator needs a lot more of what they just got over that 30-second span where they were finally able to starve out Queso.
And Stacks, I would love to see another goal for DeToNator here. That was beautiful, and that infield pass opened things up and really started to break down the defense of Team Queso. And another one on target, turned away by Rise. But Team DeToNator, the more experience they get this weekend, or this week rather, we're not to the weekend yet, but the more experience that they get of seeing how these European and North American teams play of, okay, we have to constantly change things up because the opponent is always expecting the corner play or going off the backboard. You've got to make things interesting, and it looks like they're learning to do a little bit of that.
Oh, unfortunate whiff there, though, from Mikan, and Rise will steal it right at the end. So he just adds to his impressive tally, and I can already see the caster math going on right now. What is it, 8 now for Rise as he stole that one right at the last moment?
Yes,
and
sir.
5 more for Team Queso.
I mean, Hattie in game 1, Playmaker game 2, Hattie in game 3. Rise, feeling it this weekend. And Team Queso, I had so many question marks above them at how are they going to perform in a live environment. And boy, oh boy, did I get my answer almost immediately.
Yeah, they wasted no time getting started. Now, granted, it's going to be a different story when they play the two teams out of North America in this group, FaZe and V1.
It might not be with the way they're playing right now.
Look, they play like this, and FaZe and V1 are going to have a tough time. Olpix will give way to Mikan now with 10 seconds left. And mercifully, this one will come to a close, and we'll see if they add one more. They do not. Now Olpix, last man standing there. This goes out to the side. Mikan now has Burn waiting. Burn at the last second, can't get there. And Team Queso will outscore DeToNator 15-1 in the series.
Wow.
And they go 3-0 to kick off group play in Group A.
My goodness. 5 goals in every single game, and Rise getting involved in almost every single one, other than 2. I mean, 13 out of 15 goal participation, as we look at the stats for game number 3, and again, not much changing throughout the entire series, but DeToNator did put themselves on the board and didn't get swept through the entire series.
Yeah, Burn adding to his impressive total throughout the winter split. Look, he's the guy that you don't want to say anything is a one-man effort. Certainly Olpix in all of his demos, he had about, 5,000 of them, it felt like, watching DeToNator play even through the APAC qualifier. But, you do have to put the ball in the net. Burn did that often to get them here, got one on the board, and maybe, just maybe, that gives them any semblance of momentum going into 2 other tough matches, including version 1 and FaZe, which DeToNator has to deal with almost immediately moving over to the mainstream.
You know, not to show any bias at all, but I think they got the hardest team out of the way first.
Yeah. Oh, no question for me.
I mean, I think there's people that might argue FaZe against Queso. They could look.
No.
I'm not trying to do all that. I'm just looking at the numbers on the board, and as we get another look at DeToNator, all smiles, and you love to see that the spirits are going to be kept high.
Yeah.
But back to my point, I think them against V1, that's where they can look to find some success in this group.
Just got to win one to at least get into a tiebreaker spot as well. And, of course, it is great to see this team here. And we've seen bits of them throughout the week. It's been great seeing a smile on their face almost the entire time that we've seen them, whether it's on camera or just out and about. And I want to see more of this team. I really do, because, you know, when we see these teams, that's what the LAN is all about. You see teams that you're not used to seeing because they play in a different time zone or whatever. We are going to get to see more out of DeToNator. They're going to move over to the mainstream. We're also going to move over there, but you're going to get Team Queso coming up yet again. They've got another match. The other team in Group A, version 1. We'll see if it's a similar story as the B-Stream rolls on right after this.